Hi there. So it's me, Carla, and you all know that I'm a Trager therapist. Trager's probably one of my favorite loves with horses and Trager and dogs. And so I've been a Trager therapist since 1991 and became a nurse in 2012. And so I'm not currently working as a nurse, and so I committed to doing a Traeger video a day until I'm back working as a nurse. I found that working in the hospital environment and being a nurse and being in that form of healthcare, um, factory healthcare, um, kind of was challenging to maintain my status as a relaxation expert. The Traeger therapist in me struggled. And it's just been a challenging time being a nurse because for the first time in my life since 1991, I was hands off. And whenever someone was in trouble, I always touched them and was able to facilitate a healing process in that way. And as a nurse, they say don't touch them. So it's been really strange. So I just wanted to spend a few moments doing a little Mentastics with you. And Mentastics is um, a term that Milton Trager coined called he mental gymnastics is what Mentastics means. He invented it, and it just means mental gymnastics. And so Trager is a neuromuscular re-education process, a way of integrating the mind and body. They're all one, and there becomes this disconnect when trauma happens, and trauma happens on our everyday life. Big scale traumas and little scale traumas. Someone flips you off, or you have a car accident, or you almost fall in the woods. Like anything that creates that fight or flight response, and then that doesn't get shook off, and you just march on to the next thing in the day. And so there's a bit of trauma that hangs out in your body, and a lot of stress in the world right now if you entertain that, but maybe just a lot of ease in the world right now too. So this Mentastics piece is a part of what is a part of a Traeger session. And I always work with Mentastics in my Traeger sessions, quite often at the end of my Traeger session, based on what I find in the person's body. And it's kind of like my little homework for a Traeger client, what I'd like you to go home and play with, and try to keep this nice relaxed feeling that we had on the treatment table steeped in your everyday life. And so you can get help facilitate very, very wonderful relaxation while the person is in your treatment room. But ultimately, the relaxation is the most important when they're in their real world. And so these Mentastics are a way of reminding the body about that ease and about that peacefulness, what could be lighter and what could be freer for the body and for the being. And so I love them, and I love sharing Traeger with people, and I love doing Mentastics with people. And I love doing Mentastics for myself. One of the reasons I chose Traeger back when I was 19, I had gotten, lots of different body works as a kid, and I had been hurt a lot in horse crashes. And I decided, and I knew that I needed to pursue Traeger because I had a Traeger session from Marlena O'Hagan in Bridgeton, North Bridgeton at the time. Her husband was my osteopath. And I had a session, and I was laying on her treatment table, and I was just in tears, in a nice, relaxed, soft, teary place. And she said, "What's this?" And I said, "I just feel close to God. Like I just feel connected to whatever that source, that divinity is." And so I knew that I needed to do Traeger, and I needed to share that because maybe how cool of a thing to help facilitate in a person is just to help connect them to God. I mean, really, you don't need to do much more at that point, just kind of help get them there, and then everything sorts itself out, right? So that, I love the ease and the peacefulness and the relaxation, deep relaxation, and connectedness to that oneness and that God or that center that is available to all of us. And so, one Mentastics that we're taught and that I teach people is something called the cat around the collar or the fur collar. We all have lots of this head and neck tension. Um, I, um, I, I work with a lot of face tension lately in my life. I had a significant blow to my face a couple years ago, and so I'm very aware of still some compensations and how I utilize my mouth and in my face. And so I try to play with Mentastics, not as often as I should, but I'm recommitting into that again. So one of the things I play with is the cat around the collar. And here we go. You could join in if you'd like, and if not, that's okay. You can just watch me. And so the image is to imagine that you have a nice thick fur collar or a cat wrapped around your neck, or a big German Shepherd wrapped around your neck, or a Labrador Retriever, or something that is scrumptiously soft and relaxing to you. And so when you have that nice, in your mind's eye, you have that scrumptiously soft whatever, gently cradling your neck, you then imagine that you're gonna explore the feeling of that softness on your face. And so just imagine, just imagine exploring that softness that is engrossed around your neck on your cheek. And so right now I'm just imagining that there's a big, nice fur collar, and I'm just rubbing my cheek on the fur. And I don't experience any pain or discomfort, so I can make my movement a little bigger. I am aware of, in that moment, I just had a little tension in the back of my left occipital, so I'm going to go just a little less. And I'm closing my eyes so I can feel just a little easier. Okay, and then now your chin. So this big softness cradled all up around your neck, and just rubbing your chin on that softness. And you probably hear my dog in the background. So I'm aware of, again, some tension in my left occipital and going down my neck, so I'm just going to go less. But I'm going to keep the movement going. No pain. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit. How big can I? Yeah, right there I have resistance. Not, I want to say resistance, I'm aware of tension. So with the Mentastics, we stay just this side of tension. You don't bump up against tension. You stay just shy of tension. No need to kind of knock on the body's boundaries of discomfort. There. That's nice. And so now I'm going to go over and play with my left cheek on that nice soft fur. And that feels good. I don't feel any tension. I'm noticing my feet right now, and that I need to readjust myself because I am noticing some tension in my feet. Unlocking my knees. See, unlocking my knees. There was a breath, and that's nice. Always unlock knees. And now the back of my head. Oh yeah, there's lots of, I can hear lots of creakies and poppies in there. So we'll just go less. Yeah, find that place that there's ease. No tension, no noise. It's just soft. That's it. Good. And then I'm going to play with a little combination over here on the right. A little brushy of my cheek on the soft fur, and on my chin, and then on my cheek again. Over here, it's a funny side. I have to go slow on my back of my head. I'm aware of those poppies again. And then you can imagine that you're the fur and you're kind of rubbing the back of your head on the fur. That feels nice. I like the openness that happens in my jaw when I do that. And then almost rubbing the top of my head on the fur up here. Changes the angle of the movement just a little bit. I'm aware of a little tension here, but I'm going to back off just a little bit. And then again, the top of my head on the fur. It's all in your mind. You know, you're just creating different scenarios, different visualizations to stimulate different movement, different way of using your body, getting out of your habitual patterns. I'm rubbing the fur on this part of my head now. That's a little trickier. So what I'm aware of right there is it's almost like my body doesn't quite know how to do it. So I'm going to want to rub the fur on the side of my head. And I really have to concentrate on it. Yeah, I definitely have some pattern, some tension in there. That's fine. I just keep playing with it. Tension is good in a way, you know, it's serving a purpose, and we just inquire. Do you still need to be there? You still need to serve that purpose. And then again, so now I'm just kind of rubbing that fur, circular motion on the back of my head. I'm going to go a little less. I hear poppies in there. And again on my right cheek. And on my chin. And on my left cheek. And that is the fur collar. And so I would encourage you to play with that when you're driving a car. You don't have to close your eyes. It can be very, very small when you're standing in line at the grocery store. I'm a lover of riding when you're on a horse. Yeah, when you're really stuck in a transition or your horse is being wonky, maybe your occipital's locked. Just play with your movement a little bit. See if that frees anything up. While you're riding a bike, while you're working, it's not so much carving time out to get good at it, to get schooled in it, but then really integrating it into your life. So I'm kind of drawn to do a little bit of face stuff. And so the jaw muscle is one of the most powerful muscles in our body. Really works a lot and doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And so one of the things in the jaw is a very interesting joint as well, hingy sort of joint, but also swivels. There's this movement, and then there's this movement, a tad of this movement. So one of the things I like to play with is kind of and I'm unlocking my knees again, making sure I'm soft on my feet, breathing. And it's just a little side-to-side shimmer. And so something to be aware of when you're doing this, especially in riding as well. Anytime you're wanting fluid movement and power to come through your body in a clear, conscious way, there's a place that you can rest your tongue in the roof of your mouth. It's called the click spot. It's that place that you make the click. If you curl your tongue up and just gently let it rest there, that automatically sort of releases the occipital, and things just tend to flow better. There's more movement that happens. It's a kind of just a, you can play with it. Just try and notice what you feel in your face and in your mouth when your tongue is resting in that click spot, and then when the tongue is just, sometimes there's a lot of tension in the tongue as well, and being mindful of what that's all about. And so back again, just a shimmying, gently shimmying. And so playing with it, I don't feel any discomfort. I don't hear any poppies. Feels fun. It's good. Feels good. And so I just play with it. Play with it for kind of a boring amount of time. Longer than you think you would. Longer than you think it's acceptable to stand around and shimmy your jaw. Just do it. So I just play with it. And the yawns come naturally. There. So, and when people come for Trager sessions, we play with that full-way range of motion. This, and this, and this, and this, while they're laying on the table. I kind of initiate that movement for you, and your body follows it. So you can just lay there passively while your body experiences that gentle range of motion. It's quite lovely. And when you're riding, if you're on your horse is a phenomenal Trager therapist. And so it's just about learning how to let go and let them move you. Give your body a really free ride. There's this front to back, side to side motion that they offer us is exactly what Trager's doing. But if you have a horse, you live with a Trager therapist, and it's a wonderful gift and a tool for both of you if you will allow their movement to be medicine for your body. So thank you. That was my first time. Thanks for watching, and I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope it gives you a little more insight about what Trager can be like and what Mentastics can do. Thank you.